Subscribe or they will haunt you. Kids born to teen moms, how different is your life compared to other kids? I was born to a teen mom, and a single one at that. I definitely had a lot more freedom and less supervision as a child, since both of her parents, my grandparents obviously, passed away soon after I was born. So there weren't many options for babysitters. Since she worked 2 jobs, I would often be on my own after school, until about 8 or 9 at night, sometimes later. She definitely struggled to hold down jobs due to not having an education, and the overall grind would eventually get to her. At one point she was walking 11 miles a day to and from work, because we didn't have a vehicle. Eventually, we lost our home, and we remained in and out of shelters until I was about 12. I learned a lot about the world in those days. At the time I hated it and was jealous of other kids having normal lives. Now that I'm older, I wouldn't trade it for the world. It gave me every bit of motivation I have. It gave me better social skills. Got to learn to make friends quick when you move frequently. And most importantly, it taught me to be humble and never view less fortunate people as beneath me. She was diagnosed with cancer when I was 13 and died when I was 15, which sucks. Cause I grew up to be a good person and good father. Would love to have her around to see it. I'm an early 2000s baby. My mom really liked emo music when I was little, so I considered myself emo at 6. I remember sitting in the backseat of my mom's 4Runner and listening to mindless self-indulgence, MCR, Blink 182, American Football, Fall Out Boy, Taking Back Sunday, and all the late 90s-early 2000s emo music. I got to watch a lot of 90s cartoons along with 2000s stuff, because it was what my mom watched. And we always had fun sitting on the couch watching TV. I had a really good childhood. Me and my mom were always friends. She is a great mom, and I always look up to her for being a badass young single mom who raised me alone. She was 15 when I was born. She worked to give me the life she couldn't have because of her mom. Spent my early life living from family house to house until she and my dad was able to afford an apartment. She loves me and my younger brother unconditionally, and has said that if she had never had us at such a young age, she would have never had children. We went from shopping at swap meets to affording brand names. Be it, my mom is not saint. My mom was on dialysis when she 21 and was on the waiting list for a kidney when she was told that a compatible donor. Bless her, she literally saved me and my brother's lives because of this surgery available, and if she was up for surgery, she said that she seriously considered not having the surgery because she didn't want to live with all the medication and pain. If it weren't for you two, I would have had probably stayed on dialysis until my body gave out. I just couldn't imagine leaving my dad alone to care for you both. This'll be a good time to bring up my dad too. He's an immigrant from Mexico and came to the US with the clothes on his back and not even a grade school education. He'd grown up on a ranch and at 20 has made it off to the US. Without a proper education and papers, he's been supporting me, my brother, and my mom by washing cars. Every day from 5 AM to 4 PM he'd spend on washing cars to be able to feed up and give us nice things. The reason my mom couldn't work was because she had 2 kids to care for and was legally disabled because of the dialysis. My mom doesn't let me make mistakes that she's made. She pushes me to do better. Sure, she didn't let me eat ice cream for breakfast, and sure, she didn't let me play GTA on my DS, but she didn't do it because she wasn't cool. She did it because she cared. Welp, sorry for the whole dump. It's nice to get everything out. TLDR, my mom is first to break the curse of our family being abusive, and instead of raising me like her mom did, she raised me with love and understanding. Not getting to stab my hand with a pencil like other kids wasn't because she wasn't cool, it was because she cared. Unlike other kids' parents. My mother resented me and the freedom I had as a teen and young adult. I got to do and experience so many things she didn't get to by choice. On her side, I come from a long line of teen moms, but I didn't make that mistake. I was 27 when my daughter was born. And my daughter is almost 22 and no kids yet, so the cycle is broken on our branch at least. My mom is 15 years older than me and has banged 7 of my friends throughout my life for when I was still in high school. Other than that, I think I became mature than her when I was 12. I took care of my 3 siblings, did the cooking, cleaning, got them to school. Hell, I started working 40 hours week at 14, so my siblings could have some sort of a normal childhood. Get clothes, school supplies. I even took them go-karting on each of their birthdays. Those are some of my favorite memories. Overall, I think that my childhood sucked. I never got to be a kid. I don't think anyone should have kids before they are mature enough to handle one. And teen moms should have a lot, if oversight by CPS. Mom was 15 when she had me. Honestly, my life sucked. She used to say that she could have given me up for adoption and then decided not to because she realized that I would love her unconditionally, no matter what. Our relationship progressed pretty negatively because of that mindset of hers. Every negative thing I did was against what she thought motherhood would be like. I was something she could pick up and put down and leave behind at her leisure. There were a number of times she'd drop me off at a family member's house and disappear. Once, I came home from kindergarten and no one was there. Dad was in prison. Next morning, my uncle showed up. He had heard my mom left and had a gut feeling he needed to go to my house. There was no food and the heat had been turned off by the utility company. I don't remember much about that time other than the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and the Demolition Man movie. She had pretty bad trauma and never processed it properly. So when she got angry due to a trauma reminder, she got really angry. When she was good, boy, she was golden. She could be the most fun of a person you could ask for, but she wasn't a mother. She never held and comforted. She expected hugs and comfort. She was a kid and thought with a kid brain. When we had some spare change, she'd walk me to the ice cream place and she'd buy herself an ice cream and we'd go back home. As I got older, our already weird relationship became weirder. She told me she didn't want people to know she was my mom and I could introduce her as my sister. She would tell people that she had 3 children, my siblings, and not claim me because people would do the math. She wanted to be friends with my friends. She wanted to hang around when they were there. What I know about having a teenage mom is this: I loved her with the kind of fanatical worship that messed me up for a long time. She could be funny and cruel at the same time. When she gave you attention, your world would be brighter, but when she was mad at you, the world would be dark. She never grew out of her teenage mindset, and I had to come to grips with that. I can't say that every teenage mom is like mine, but mine was rough. My parents got married when they found out my mom was pregnant at 16. She had me her senior year at 17. And both still managed to work their way through college with me in tow. It was honestly pretty annoying. They liked to party a lot with their friends, which got annoying quick, having a bunch of 30-somethings getting drunk and listening to loud music when I had to be up early. My mom enjoyed the attention of being mistaken for my sister, but it felt gross because she was the hot mom to all my guy friends growing up, and I never heard the end of it. My dad wasn't really interested in doing dad things until they had my sister in their mid-20s. Found out a year ago, thanks to 23andMe, that my dad's not my biological father. Apparently my mom slept around a lot in high school. Found my bio dad, which uncovered a huge conspiracy of lies and batshit insanity that honestly deserves its own post. Teenagers are fucking stupid. I was born in 1964, when my mother was 16. Grandparents adopted me so I'd have a name. Father's family paid for the hospital bills and that was it, because they didn't want to ruin his chances to go to VMI. Mother had 3 other kids from at least 2 other men, and tried to treat me like a little sister. Although a girl in 3rd grade decided it was her duty to tell me I didn't really have a daddy. 3-bedroom country farm with 4 kids, grandparents, and mother with her pedo husband was a constant fight complete with fists and screaming almost daily. At least we could go outside. Lost a brother to a gunshot when stepfather cheated on mother and left gun down while he was leaving. Other brother accidentally shot him. Mother continued to treat me like a sister until she decided she wanted to be a mother. My grandmother was the one who raised me and the one I consider my true mother. When she died, she left me the land with her house on it, and my mother tricked me into signing it over to her. I was very naive. She accused my straight edge goth white kids, in their 30s now, of being on drugs because they wore black, and has held a remark I made about moving away when I was 16 against me to this day. My father sent me $50 when I graduated and $100 when I got married the first time. And I had no idea he was even my father until I was 23. I would have liked to have had a different childhood. My mom was 18. So my aunt and uncle are only 10 years older than me. My uncle is 6 years. So I got to do all kinda of rad stuff with my aunt and uncle like skateboarding, surfing, snowboarding. They were and are more like a brother and sister. Real dad is a pose. My mom fell in love at 20 with a 40-year-old. They are still together 38 years later. Raised me like his own. He had 5 other kids. So I had all kinds of brothers and sisters. And TBH a better life than if my real dad stuck around.